Rugby isn't just a game of skill, it's a battlefield where toughness and resilience define legends. Some men were unshakable, unstoppable, and unapologetic, leaving a legacy that changed rugby forever. Today, we're diving into part 2 of the hardest players in rugby history. Make sure to stick around to hear about the French hard man, whose life was cut tragically short during a game of Russian roulette. When you think of rugby's hardest players, Bakkies Botha immediately comes to mind. Known as a true enforcer, this 6'8", 270-pound South African lock was a nightmare for his opponents. Botha's career spanned over a decade, with 85 caps for the Springboks and countless brutal encounters on the field. But what made him so feared wasn't just his size, it was his sheer physicality. From crushing tackles to dominating rucks, Botha's presence on the field was nothing short of intimidating. In one famous exchange in a game against England, Bakkies set his sights on Matt Stevens, who, despite being from South Africa, represented the Red Rose of England, something Botha saw as unforgivable. At the first opportunity, Bakkies would strike Stevens, who had to leave the field to receive 14 stitches. Upon Stevens' return to play, Bakkies would strike once more, cutting the English prop open once again. At half-time, the then-captain John Smith uttered, "Bakkies, I think that's enough," to which Bakkies replied, "Just one more, please, captain." Botha formed an infamous partnership with Victor Matfield and was the backbone of South Africa's 2007 World Cup winning squad, and his aggressive playing style embodied the Springboks' reputation for uncompromising rugby. Botha's ability to impose himself in key moments, such as high-pressure matches against the All Blacks, solidified his reputation as one of the hardest players the game has ever seen. Next, we have Namibia's Jacques Burger, a man who redefined the art of tackling. Standing at 6'2" and weighing just over 220 pounds, Burger wasn't the biggest player on the field, but he was arguably the toughest. Known for his fearless commitment to defense, he once made 26 tackles in a single match against Wales during the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Burger's career included standout performances for Saracens, where his physicality and relentless work rate earned him a cult following. What set Burger apart was his sheer willingness to put his body on the line, often emerging from matches bruised and bloodied, but with an unshakable determination that inspired teammates and terrified opponents. When asked about his seemingly superhuman pain threshold, Burger simply said, "You can't think about your body when you're on the field." This mentality made him one of the most respected and feared players in world rugby. Burger's ability to maintain his intensity over 80 minutes made him invaluable in close matches, and his leadership by example helped Namibia punch above their weight on the world stage. For fans and players alike, Burger symbolized the unbreakable spirit of rugby. Martin Johnson is remembered as one of rugby's greatest leaders, but make no mistake, he was also one of its hardest players. Standing at 6'7" and weighing 260 pounds, Johnson was a physical and mental giant on the field. His fearlessness was most evident during England's 2003 Rugby World Cup campaign, where he captained the team to victory. Known for his uncompromising style, Johnson dominated scrums, line-outs and collisions, setting the tone for England's forward pack. Beyond his physicality, Johnson's intimidating presence and no-nonsense leadership made him the ultimate hard man. Whether playing for Leicester Tigers, England, or the British and Irish Lions, Johnson's name struck fear into opponents and commanded respect from teammates. His ability to stay calm under pressure was legendary, and his habit of stepping up in crucial moments made him indispensable. Johnson wasn't just hard, he was the player who refused to let his team falter no matter the odds. Keith Murdoch's name is synonymous with mystery and raw physicality. The New Zealand prop gained infamy during the All Blacks' 1972 Tour of Britain when he was sent home after an off-field incident. Whilst details of the event remain unclear, Murdoch would go on to disappear into obscurity and never play rugby again. On the field, Murdoch was unstoppable. At 6'2" and 250 pounds, he was a powerhouse in the scrum and a wrecking ball in open play. His hard-hitting style earned him a reputation as one of rugby's toughest forwards. Though his career was cut short, Murdoch's impact on the game endures as a reminder of the raw power and unpredictability that defined rugby in the 1970s. He remains a figure of intrigue, with his reclusive life post-rugby adding to his legendary status. Murdoch's lone international try, a match-winning effort against Wales, stands as a testament to his ability to rise to the occasion when it mattered most. With his wild hair and beard, Sebastien Chabal looked every bit the part of a rugby hardman, and he backed it up with his play. The French number 8 was a ferocious ball carrier and tackler, known for leaving opponents sprawled across the pitch. Nicknamed the Caveman, Chabal's physicality was legendary, and his performances for France and clubs like Sale Sharks made him a fan favourite. Beyond his hits and carries, Chabal brought an aura of intimidation to every match he played, turning him into a global rugby icon. What made him stand out was his ability to switch between moments of raw aggression and surprising finesse, a rare combination for a forward of his size. Chabal's off-field persona only added to his fame, but on the pitch, he was all business, delivering performances that left a lasting impression on fans and opponents alike. Frick du Preez isn't just one of rugby's hardest players, he's one of its greatest pioneers. Playing for South Africa during the 1960s and early 70s, du Preez was a versatile forward who could dominate both as a lock and a flanker. Known for his immense strength and fearless tackling, he was a cornerstone of the Springboks' success. At 6'3" and 230 pounds, du Preez combined physicality with athleticism, making him a trailblazer in the second-row position. His contributions to South African rugby have earned him legendary status, with many still considering him one of the greatest players of all time. Du Preez's ability to adapt to different roles within the pack made him invaluable, and his exploits against the All Blacks remain iconic moments in rugby history. He was more than a hard man. He was a complete rugby player who defined an era. Trevor Brennan was the quintessential hardman of Irish rugby. Known for his no-nonsense playing style, Brennan was a ferocious presence on the field, particularly during his time with Leinster and Toulouse. Standing at 6'5" and weighing 250 pounds, Brennan brought an edge to every match he played. His ability to dominate in the physical exchanges made him a key figure in the pack, and his fearless approach often saw him clash with the toughest opponents. Brennan's passion for the game and willingness to stand toe-to-toe with anyone earned him a reputation as one of the hardest men in rugby. Beyond his physicality, Brennan's leadership qualities helped drive his teams to success, and his fiery attitude often inspired those around him. Off the field, he remains a beloved figure for his larger-than-life personality and love for the sport. Standing at an imposing 6'8", Wade Dooley was aptly nicknamed the Blackpool Tower. This English lock, who was also a police officer in Blackpool, was a dominant force in the 1980s and early 1990s, known for his physicality and uncompromising style of play. Dooley's ability to impose himself in the line-out and at the breakdown made him a cornerstone of England's forward pack. His hard-hitting tackles and no-nonsense approach to the game earned him widespread respect, and his presence on the field often intimidated opponents before the match even began. He famously broke the cheekbone of Welsh player Phil Davies during a typically ferocious game between England and Wales in Cardiff in 1987. Dooley retired from the game after returning home from the 1993 tour of New Zealand following the death of his father. His replacement was a young Martin Johnson, who would go on to become one of England's greats. What set Dooley apart was his ability to stay composed under pressure, making him a reliable figure in England's greatest battles. Whether representing England or his club side, Dooley's performances consistently delivered, leaving an indelible mark on the game. Tomás Lavanini represents the modern era of rugby hard men. The Argentine lock is known for his fiery temperament and aggressive style, often pushing the boundaries of physicality. At 6'7" and over 260 pounds, Lavanini is a towering presence who relishes the physical battle of the game. While his career has been marked by a few disciplinary issues, there's no denying his impact as a hardman in rugby. Whether playing for Argentina or his club teams, Lavanini's physicality and passion for the game make him a standout figure in modern rugby. His ability to dominate in set pieces and deliver game-changing hits has made him a fan favourite. Despite his fiery approach, Lavanini has shown flashes of maturity in recent years, adding depth to his already formidable game. Armand Vaccarin was a cornerstone of French rugby during the 1970s and 1980s. Known for his prowess in the scrum, Vaccarin was a 10-time French championship winner with Béziers and a feared opponent in international rugby. His relentless work ethic and ability to dominate the physical exchanges made him one of the hardest props of his era. Vakkarin's contributions to the game weren't just about brute strength. His technical expertise in the scrum helped set new standards for front row play. Beyond his technical skills, Vakkarin's leadership and unyielding spirit made him a symbol of French rugby's golden era. His untimely passing only added to the legend of a player who gave everything to the sport he loved. On July 10, 1993, Vakkarin spent the evening drinking at Le Cardiff, a bar he co-owned. The bar's name was a nod to his exploits with the French rugby team against Wales in Cardiff. That night, after rounds of wine, Vakkarin reportedly pulled out a revolver he had recently purchased and suggested a game of Russian roulette to entertain the patrons. To prove his point, he took the first turn himself. Tragically, the gun fired, killing him instantly. He was 42 years old. These 10 players weren't just hard, they were legends who reshaped the game through their sheer toughness and determination. But here's the question: who else deserves to be on this list? Maybe your favorite hard man will make part 3. Stay tuned and we will see you next time when we get back to the rugby.